Yeah, I'm just reading, well, issue 2 of Skeletron. Look at that from Machete Comics. All right, it's an echo. Look at that. Isn't that a beaut? Still available. You could still buy this. Etsy.com, Machete Comics, one word. Or email me if you know me. Hook this up. Look at that. It's a beaut, huh? All right, we'll talk more about Skeletron and Machete Comics in a bit. Got tons of time to chat, and I'm stoked. Superhero stuff, comic book stuff, movie stuff, TV stuff. I love it. I love chatting about it. I get excited for Sundays. I dig this. So this is the Kids on the Escalator channel. My best buddy Brent is out on the road with Megadeth, doing death things. It's just really heavy music. Nobody's dying. Just a lot of cool riffs. Shred. So he's out there doing that. So I am, I need to talk more about comic books. Because if you've seen the Kids on the Escalator podcast, we're very non-nerd friendly. So I don't go into too much detail in some of the stuff where I would really like to. There's kind of a leash, right? All right, so here I'm going for it, though. We're going deep nerd diving. Or fishing, however you want to look at it. I was fishing. I was talking about diving. I should have went, splash. That's what I should have did. Yeah, and I got a special today on our show. We always talk about the producer of Kids on the Escalator and who does the graphics and everything, and my wife who does a lot of the artwork as well in the comic book, the placements and such. She's going to be on here showing some of her comic book stuff. So Lonnie will be on here, and we're going to get a female's point of view of comic book collecting, which is always good. You know, there should be more. I'm going to do this every week. We'll get Lonnie's opinion on comic books and pop culture so that we can do it proper. All right, my friends. Cheers. So, woo! Again, I love talking about this stuff. This is great. And before I go on air, I always pump myself full of all kinds of nerd culture, right? Get caught up on stuff. But so we're going to start today again. I like to talk about TVs. I like TVs. Not actual TV sets, but I'll talk about pop culture and cool stuff on TV. Talk about the movies. And of course, we talk about the comic books. I got to sneak some toys in there, too. Last week went by so quick. All right, just got to pause for the cause. Cheers, everyone. Life is good. Again, today my drink is sponsored by my daughter who left a, what do they call those things? A White Claw in the fridge, so I'm drinking that. The energy drinks came a little too late. So, yeah. And there's cat hair everywhere here today. I don't know what's going on, but there's cat hair everywhere. I can see it here and there. We need to hire a cleaner to get in here just for cat purposes. Is there people that come in and just clean up after cats? Because that's what we need. Anyway, enough about my cats, who are eerily silent right now. It's the calm before the storm. I don't know what's going to happen here. Anyway. I'm not in here too often because this is Lonnie's room. So, I'm just getting comfy with everything I got in here. All right, so let's talk about... Oh, man, what should we start with? Okay, let's start with movies and the Eternals, which if you watch Kids on the Escalator podcast, you will see that I have been pumping this because I think this is going to be the sleeper hit. I'm a big fan of Eternals. It's going to open up a lot of doorways and answer a lot of questions for the Marvel Universe. Now, one of the cool things I liked... So many cool things I liked about the Eternals. Okay, so let's go from the beginning. Let's count them out. Here we go. So the first thing that I really, really love about the Eternals is the fact that it was created by Jack Kirby. All right. Jack Kirby co-created so many things with Stan Lee, but it was always Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Would have been cool if maybe for one of those characters, Stan said, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna throw you a bone here, Jack, and we're gonna put your name first." Like hopefully the Silver Surfer. Excuse me. As you know, I love Stan Lee. I got a photo with him, and he was a huge part of my life growing up. So I love Stan Lee, but I also love Jack Kirby. Now, Jack Kirby is the artist when it came to these kind of things. So Stan Lee would come up with an idea of a character, and he would tell him about it. And then Jack would go off at home and draw the character and bring it to visual life. While Stan verbally would bring it to life, Jack would visually bring it to life. I think that's the best way to describe that. So they work together hand in hand here. And Jack just didn't get a lot of credit because he was a quiet guy. He'd stay home and drew, where Stan was out there pimping stuff. Excuse me. And good for Stan, you know what I mean? Maybe we could open the window or a door here. There's a lot of cat hair flying around here. I'm just getting some coughs. Okay, so we're going to get rid of our cats. So Stan Lee gets the credit for like tons of stuff. But Jack Kirby is equally responsible for so much. The Silver Surfer is a great example. The Silver Surfer was totally created by Jack Kirby. So Stan Lee created Galactus and told Jack Kirby, let's do this character named Galactus, this huge guy. So Jack Kirby thought, well, you know what he needs? He needs somebody to go to the planets and check this out. He brought the character in, Silver Dude on a surfboard. And Stan Lee's contribution to the Silver Surfer was, hey, let's call him the Silver Surfer. And Stan used to joke about that as well. That, wow, what a contribution I did towards that one, right? So that's true. Jack Kirby is Jack King Kirby when it comes to comic books. All right? So I had to pimp Jack Kirby a lot because not a lot of people do. And I'll stand up for Jack. Love Jack. Power to Jack. Okay, Eternals. Oh my gosh. So the cool thing that I like about this, here's another thing. So there's the list. I forgot. The first thing was that Jack Kirby's in there. That's awesome. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so the second thing that we're looking at here is that he was so influenced by Chariots of the Gods. It's ridiculous. Basically, what we're coming up with here is the Celestials that create the Eternals. And the Celestials are like the great big gods of everything, okay? And they create the Eternals, which come down to Earth, and they dabble in the female species. So they intertwine, the Eternals intertwine, and they come up with a new species. And that's kind of how the beginning of the world became here, with the Celestials and with the Chariots of the Gods. The gods came down, hung out on Earth, and evolution began. The jumping from one aspect to another. I'm not going to get all religious here with you and talk about evolution and stuff like that. And this is Marvel evolution, okay, folks? So the influence for this story is you could tell Jack Kirby was back in that day, looking at celestial gods and ancient aliens and that kind of thing. And I love that kind of theory, and it goes back to the Egyptian kind of stuff. So the Eternals is like a nod to the beginning of the Marvel universe. And they, in the trailer, they hint out to, well, they don't hint out to, they talk about when Thanos did the snap, and they say, well, why didn't you help when the snap was going on here? You know what I mean? Like, where were you then if you're supposed to be helping all of us? And Thanos is supposed to be a deviant, because the reply was, well, we only can step in when there's deviants being involved, because there was the Eternals and there was the deviants that were created. And of course, the deviants are bad. The Eternals are good. So it's like good and bad was created. Okay. So they say to them, or the one Eternal says to the other, well, where were you when all this happened with Thanos? What happened there? And that flashbacks to all these great catastrophes happening, and then just having to watch. But if Thanos is supposed to be a deviant, maybe that's got to be like some kind of huge story twist or plot that is going to be going on in here. I'm looking forward to see what that is. Okay, so what else have we got going on here with the Eternals, man? It's just gonna be so good. I'm looking forward to it so much. Ego. Oh yeah. So if you're looking at the Celestials in relation to what we've seen in the Marvel universe, okay, Ego was apparently the last of the Celestials. So Ego is a living planet. So you can see how powerful the Celestials are. Okay. Now, the other thing that we're looking at here is the head, the planet Nowhere. That is the head of a Celestial. So you can see how powerful these Celestials are. You can leave that door open. It's nice. There's some breeze coming through, which is good. Yeah, and there's the cat. The cat's at the door again. There we go. So the Celestials are so important to the whole Marvel universe. You know, we're going to get so many answers to so many questions here, and I'm looking forward to it. Plus Jack Kirby. I'm pimping him today, as well as Studio 73 Friday Night Live. Check it out. Good stuff there. Okay, so TV. Movies coming up. We're going to have the Eternals. Or sorry, not. You can see the trailer on TV or on the internet. But movies coming up. And that is, can you guess the date of when that movie is coming out?
The Eternals?
Yes. It's in November.
November 11th?
No.
Don't know.
The 5th. One of my favorite numbers.
Oh, okay.
November. So we got that's when the Eternals movie is going to be coming out, which is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a huge Marvel jam, and it's going to be very underrated, as I say on the Kids in the Escalator show. So brace yourselves. Beautiful. It's going to be great. Okay. Now, did you want to step in, Lonnie, and show everybody what you got?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, comic book wise. Hey. All right. Transitioning, we got it, right? Okay.
Here.
Oh, hey, let's start over again. Oh, we got to start over again now. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
This is Lonnie. She's going to talk about her comic book collection and stuff. Sorry about that, folks. We had the mute button on. I saw it, though.
Oh, you did? Okay. Sorry about that.
We're good now. Okay.
As I was saying, that I collect more of the paranormal, odd comic books, not the usual superhero books. And I was just going to show you one of my Buffys here, one of my favorites that I got for Christmas. And that is Angel. I just love the artwork on this. This is a virgin cover. You can see that.
That's a cool one.
I always thought that was a neat one. I love the artwork. Sometimes I just collect comic books for the artwork on the cover because I just like that. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a newer comic book, and it's called Man-Eaters. And it's quite interesting. This is the cover number 1, and it's in a variant. And you can see all the glitter right here. Now, I've only got 2 issues of this, but it's pretty funny, and it's obviously geared towards female. It's hilarious because it has to do with women's periods and stuff like that. I know that's... and it's very comedic. So I definitely recommend this for women. It's called Man-Eaters. You can see in issue number 2 here, there's a warning. That warning. Girls and women may become addicted to this.
Comic may attract girls and women, yeah. Period. Nice.
Period. I also have one Marvel one here. I got here is the Dazzler. And this is one of the first ones I picked up because I just love the cover of it. And she's
bag on that, huh? Dang.
Yeah. She's this is like based on obviously Thriller.
That's awesome.
So she's wearing the same kind of like colors as Michael Jackson did back in the day. And actually it is an episode where there's a character that looks like Michael Jackson, but it's not. They're on a movie set and they're trying to figure out what happened. Like it's a one-off. Very 80s. I love the 80s.
That's a cool cover.
I also wanted to show when we went to Fan Expo one year, and we got. I'm a very huge Walking Dead fan, and I got to meet the original artist, Tony Moore, and this is Michonne with her 2 zombies.
The cover.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be her brother and her husband. And she just chained them up and stuff like that. So Tony Moore, I bought one of his prints, and he got to sign it and says, "Stay sharp, Lonnie." Yeah, put it closer. See that? It's pretty cool.
Very cool. I got one of Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got cover 1, and Tony Moore said, "Rod on."
Rod on. Oh, yeah, Rod on. And I couldn't read it. It was like, man, because he wasn't looking when he was signing. I was like, dude, I don't even know what he said here.
It was really neat.
He told me to screw off or something. I don't know.
No, he didn't.
Just joking.
I just remember him that's his last Comic-Con for The Walking Dead. So
because the last time he was going to promote it.
Yeah, I guess because there's issues. Yeah, I mean, that was how long ago was that?
Yeah, a little while ago.
But
that was way before COVID. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to one of those.
Yeah, we gotta have some Machete Comics at these Comic Cons now, which will be amazing. But yeah.
So that's my comics I wanted to share with you today.
Good job. Okay, so those are the comics my wife collects. Good job, Lonnie. There you go. All right, we're back in here. Okay, so we need to turn this. Hello, everyone. All right, so moving and shaking here. Okay, so that was great, Lonnie. So I like the man. I got to help you out with some of these this Dazzler comic right here, because the bag is exceeded its worth, its purpose, its timeline. Let's give this proper. That's a nice one. I really like that. Gotta get the iron out too. I bet we could press some of these in between clothes and it would look, But look at that. That's a sweet cover right there, friends. Oh, I like that Dazzler cover. The Michael Jackson throwback's fantastic. Very, very cool.
I would love to put that on a piece of canvas and hang that.
Yeah, it's a great one.
That's a barcode, obviously, but
you put something else in there for the barcode, right? Yeah, that's great. Okay, so bouncing back. So we got to talk about how much time have we done here? What time are we at? I'm just curious. Oh, 17 minutes. Okay, bitchin'. Okay. So, hey, folks. We talked about movies. Now we're going to talk about TV. Did you watch What If? What If? I like to say what if. Yeah, right there. So there. Those kids coming down the stairs there on the side there. That's kind of fun.
Oh, okay. Well, since you saw that, I want to show you this. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what's going on, folks.
There's Chris.
Happy birthday! I hope you're
It's your birthday coming up, and I saw this. I have this obsession with reefing.
Yes, she does. Holy cow.
I just thought that was cute because,
That's so funny.
It's John Candy and it's your birthday.
That's funny. Well, I wasn't John Candy, though.
No, but I mean, you like John Candy with it.
I was Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin.
That was awesome. You got to show that one more time. I gotta see
one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
Happy birthday! Woo! I hope you're hungry.
Did you put yourself on the little girl behind or no?
No.
Oh, okay. I couldn't. That was funny. Okay, thanks. Yeah, my birthday's coming up. I'm getting old. My eyes are watering. That was really funny. That was cool. That was a good one. I haven't seen that one. No. Nice. Okay, so what if TV? Okay, we're gonna go into what if.
Right there.
That was a what if. What if I was Macaulay Culkin in Uncle Buck? Yeah. That was hilarious. Damn, that was funny. My eyes are watering. That was so funny. Okay, so here's what we got. What if Black Panther was Star-Lord? Okay, so what if Black Panther was Star-Lord? So this gave the Reavers elevated their whole lifestyle. Instead of going to these trashy bars, they were going to like these really ritzy places, which was cool because T'Challa is a king, and Peter Quill was just a dude, right? And we see more of that at the very end, which is really, really rad. Now I thought that the only voice actor I think that didn't show up was Batista to do Drax, because we had like Josh Brolin was in there, even Chadwick Boseman did some stuff before he sadly passed away. He had some lines in there that were his, which was great. I don't know if he did the whole thing or not. I was watching some info on that.
Who's that? Which character is that?
The original Black Panther, Chadwick.
Oh,
Chadwick, the guy that passed
yes.
away. So he did some
Fortunate.
voices for that. But Josh Brolin's in there as Thanos. Now, the twist they put on Thanos was really, really cool that they made. Now, spoiler alerts here, of course. If you're watching the show, spoiler alerts. Especially because I just start talking about this stuff and sometimes I forget that I'm spoiling things. I'm the spoiler. Anyway, just kidding. So we got... I like the twist they did on Thanos. So he wasn't this bad ruler. He was actually part of their group, part of the Reavers, and it was pretty funny. Reavers, right? That's what they're called, I'm believing. Or am I getting mixed up with the X-Men, the Reavers? Anyway, let's turn that blue microphone towards me that we use. Beautiful. Okay, so he was part of the group. Thanos was, and it was really cool. His spin on things. He was actually pretty funny in there, which of course, you know, if you're going to put the Guardians in with anything, there's going to be some humor involved, and there was. It was fantastic. I like the humor aspect of it. I thought it was great, and of course, people like the Collector too, because the Collector's a fantastic character. He was really, really funny in Thor. Ragnarok, fantastic in Thor Ragnarok. The Collector.
Mm-hmm.
That was oh no, wait, it wasn't the Collector. The Collector was in no, sorry, it was the his brother. No, yeah, his brother. He was in the Guardians one, though. He wasn't in Thor. Forget I said Thor. That was his brother. But that was good, though. Yeah, I know. Now I'm confusing everyone, including myself. But anyway, having the Collector in this episode of What If was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I thought that episode of What If was pretty good. At the very end, you see Peter Quill is mopping up a Dairy Queen. And that's when his dad, Eagle, comes down and said, hey, you want to be a rock star, basically? So it's interesting the way the twist on the end there would have affected so many things there. Would have affected everything. All right, here's what we got. Leading from this what if story that we have, what if? I'm going to show you. Oh, I brought some extra comics in here I didn't mean to bring in today. So we're going to get comic books now, my friends. Wow, those are so much John Byrne gold right there. There's some classic X-Men, The Hidden Years that John Byrne did, which was great. Really, really cool. Okay, so we are looking for, there it is. What If? Now, this is my favorite What If comic book that I own. This is What If Wolverine Had Killed the Hulk. Okay. This is back from 1981. Just a youngin' back then, huh? We all were just young back then. Some of us might not have been around. But anyway, look at that. That's really sweet. And plus, what if the Fantastic Four had never been down at the bottom? Which is great. I still love these ads they put in the comics there, too. This win a formula. 10-speed racer, you can win a bike somehow in this. If you mailed something in, because there was no internet back then. But what if Wolverine had killed the Hulk? Now, Wolverine is not in the Marvel Universe yet, which is unfortunate, because this would be a great what if story. So what happens is Wolverine kills the Hulk, and it turns out that instead Professor X finding Wolverine, Logan, then Magneto finds Wolverine. Okay, so it puts a whole spin on things because now Wolverine is discovered by an evil mutant instead of a good mutant. So that is something that you would think that would really spin Wolverine in the wrong direction, right? Because he's already so feral and he already has so much anger going on. So what happens at the end of this is Wolverine gets recruited by Magneto, and Magneto sends Wolverine as a spy into the X-Men because he knows Xavier will take him in. So he sends Wolverine over to the X-Men, Professor X's school, as a spy. Professor X brings him in, open arms, and Wolverine gets to know the X-Men so much, and of course falls in love with Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, and decides that he can't do it, and ends up skewering himself in the end with his claws, which is pretty epic. Now the cats are coming in here. All right, it's pretty epic ending there. So Wolverine ends up dying in this, which is great. Spoiler, but who if you don't have this, it's probably like a $30-$40 comic. Worth having, though. Definitely worth having. Cheers. Okay, now let's do some speculation books here. So here's what we got. Look, I forgot one thing. Okay, I'll go back to that. Okay, so speculation books. We're talking about the Eternals. Now I'm trying to link things up here. So we talked about the Eternals movie coming out and the ad for it, the trailer, which is great. So what we got here, here is the original. This is number 10. There's some original Jack Kirby gold for you, my friends. When gods walked the earth, the Eternals, City That Died Twice by Jack Kirby. This is fantastic. I am a huge Jack Kirby fan. You'll notice this has the diamond variant on it too, which is even cooler, right? Yeah, I got some books, friends. I got some books. Nerd dive. So this is the original series here, and this is back in 1977. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So this is where the original story started, and then we had one later on. Was this 1985, and I got number one of this. This is a 12-issue series of the Eternals. There's a couple more that went on in the 2000s that I wasn't privy to and I didn't pick up. But nowadays we have the Eternal series, and this is my speculation book. This is my if you want to pick up something for value, you should probably grab these while you can. All right, these are the new Eternal series. So this is some great comic book reading right here. My gosh, look at this action, right? Do you like that action? I do too. The Eternal. So these are new comic books, okay? And you can still get these for a reasonable price, I believe. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great covers, great art. Look at that. Battling Thanos, right? So these are newer comic books, all right? These are out nowadays. You can pick these up. And I would say that speculation-wise, anything Eternals is probably going to jump after the movie comes out. So you have till like around November till everybody to realize how cool the Eternals actually are. Whenever you start to introduce the whole origin of not just a character, but the universe that they're based on, you're gonna have the source material go up in value, which is what a lot of comic book collectors look for. Some look for the covers, as my wife does. I do that too. There's a lot of comic books I bought just because wow, that's like. And we dollar bin dive a lot, right? And you see some of these comics in the dollar bins, and you're just like, man, I'm buying that just for the artwork alone on the cover, which so it drives a lot of comic book collectors towards their investments, and sometimes will drive a comic book up in value is just the cover alone, not just the artist. I've been diving back into, and again, I still haven't been to the comic book store in so long. I've just been so busy here, and plus COVID, right? Like it's just it's up and down, it's all over the place. So I haven't been to the comic book store in a while, but as I mentioned, my birthday's coming up. Quiet Beans. My birthday's coming up on Wednesday, so I'll be definitely doing a birthday comic book run. I'm really looking forward to that. So look out, comic book stores. Look out, local Kingston comic book stores. I'm coming for you. So the Eternals is a great one to pick up. Deep dive, you're gonna love that, my friends. You're gonna get and Nerva, and it's just a good read as well. Like these are really well done. The movie's gonna shake the foundations. It's gonna be another sleeper pick. The Spider-Man movie is going to be really good too, but everybody seems to be ignoring the Eternals movie, which is going to be fantastic, and it's going to bring some Jack Kirby. Yeah, I'm saying his name again. It's going to bring more Jack Kirby to light, which is great because I love Jack Kirby. Now, excuse me. One thing that I didn't mention that I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention. Look at me, looking at you, looking at me, looking at you, mate. Is the Howard the Duck segment in the What If TV show, the animated series. So we had Howard the Duck in there again. Now he's been in the Guardians movies again, right? It's really Seth Green does his voice, who's famous for nowadays. He's famous for Robot Chicken. To us, he's famous for a lot of teen movies, right? Yeah. Seth Green. Can't Hardly Wait's a great one that Seth Green was in. Buffy, and he was in Buffy, of course. Yeah, my wife loves Buffy, so he was in Buffy as well. Hey, stop scratching the comic book box! Wow. Yeah, Seth Green's been around for a while. He's been a child actor too, right? He's been in some real. I think he was in. Was it Can't Buy Me Love? Oh, maybe it was. It was Can't Buy Me Love. I almost got it mixed up with $2. You owe me $2. Oh, yeah. What's that movie called?
Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead. Yeah, that's a great movie too. Some classic 80s movies. So Seth Green plays the voice of Howard the Duck again. Now, my question to my fans out there and my followers and my friends is, are we ready for a Howard the Duck movie? Are we ready for a proper Howard the Duck movie? I don't know. I think that the way they could present it these days, and with Seth Green doing the voice and adding some of his humor and his delivery to it, that they could do an amazing Howard the Duck movie. I think it'd be really cool. His comic books were crazy back in the day, and there was a thing called the Marvel bullpen, and that's when you brought it was just like an office, so you didn't have the internet again back there, so you couldn't send your stuff in the mail, so they had to have an office where everybody worked, and they called it the Marvel bullpen. And apparently when they would bring in the Howard the Duck stuff, they were like writing things last minute, adding things last minute, and these guys were in the late 70s, so a lot of them were they were smoking a lot of pot back in the day there, and very loosening their noggins or whatever they were doing, having a couple beverages. No, but but it relates in the stories in the Howard the Duck, because they were all like crazy. But it's Howard the Duck. You got talking ducks. So, but the documentaries that I've watched on Howard the Duck were really interesting to see the gentlemen that were creating Howard the Duck. And I've also listened to some podcasts from the creators back and how they say, man, we come into the bullpen there and we didn't know how we were going to finish off that storyline. And one guy would throw in the craziest, suggestion in the world. It was like, yep, we don't got time. We're going for it. So it was just like spur of the moment ideas, which in the state you're in can sometimes be crazy.
That movie was really popular in the 80s, so because I actually really liked it.
Was it popular? I thought it bombed.
I liked it when I was little, and I didn't know it was a comic book, but I liked it. I mean, they had Thompson's in it, and I don't know. It was just a popular. I thought it was a popular thing, but maybe I was wrong.
I thought it. I can't remember. I'll give it another go here while I'm doing.
I did like odd stuff, like Willow.
Yeah, well, that's we all like odd stuff. Willow, it's not odd to like Willow. You're talking to the right crowd here, so we're all good with that. Willow was a great movie. Excuse me. Oh, my allergies are killing me, folks. And I found something on my scalp I need to get off right away. So I don't know what that is. That needs to be in a bag. I'm using this one too much for promotional use. I'm gonna have to give this one away. All right. So, Eternals. The movie is gonna be a diamond in the rough. It's gonna be huge. Yay! And the comic book, you can pick these up. You can still get these for a reasonable price. Anything Eternals, buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Right. What If comic books? I don't know if What If's going up in value or not, but they're just a good read. What If is just a good read. So I want to do a spotlight on an artist that I love, and it's not Jack Kirby. I already talked about Jack Kirby. This time I'm going to talk about a Canadian artist. His name is John Byrne. Okay, I'm talking about John Byrne. John Byrne came up in the 70s, and he penciled some. Starting at, what did he do? He did some Marvel team ups. He did some Iron Fist, fantastic Iron Fist stuff, and he was responsible for co-creating the Scott Lang version of Ant-Man. And also, more than anything that nobody knows about this artist, I like to pump other artists and show that they are actually have contributed more than a lot of these companies will give them light for. Now, the main thing I want to talk about with John Byrne today is his influence on the character Wolverine. Everybody knows Wolverine. Okay. Now, little known knowledge is that when Wolverine was brought around in Hulk 181, all right, he was from there brought into the X-Men. So he first started in an Incredible Hulk comic book, not done by John Byrne. Lee Wen, something like that, I believe his name is. I'm blanking on names right now, but anyway. So after that, he was brought into the X-Men. He was a mutant. He was brought in Giant Size number 1, I believe it was, when they went to find Professor Xavier, recruited a group of new mutants to find the old mutants, the original X-Men. Okay, so as time went by, a new creative team comes and goes, and they were not fond of Wolverine. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of the Cockrum Claremont issues before John Byrne, you will find that Wolverine was not even on a lot of the covers. Okay, they were not going to do anything with Wolverine until John Byrne came along. All right, so John Byrne came along, Canadian artist, and was like, "Hey, here's a Canadian character, Wolverine. Why don't I have a go at him?" Now I'm talking like that guy. I'd have a go at him. And why don't I have a go at him? So he made him, with the adamantium, really fleshed out his character more and made him more Canadian, right? And if it wasn't for John Byrne championing Logan's son, Wolverine, we probably wouldn't have him as a prolific character as we do today, which is crazy to think about that, because he's huge. And this just goes to show you how some artists should really be getting more credit, and maybe even a little bit of little bit of cheddar, little bit of ching ching, bingo, as Star-Lord would say, for some of these creations and stuff they've done. I mean, Jack Kirby fought for a way back in the day, and now they're seeing a lot more of it. But yeah, so John Byrne co-created Scott Lang, and that is one of my favorite actors' character there, Paul Rudd. One of my favorite characters is actors is Paul Rudd, and the way he plays Ant-Man is great. Well, John Byrne was co-creator of Ant-Man. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that of the second Ant-Man. And then also the fact that he saved Wolverine from the clutches of boredom and just being lost in the melee of unsung characters. John Byrne did that as well. So looking at some unknown John Byrne work, and this is from 2000. is the Hidden Years. So John Byrne's most famous work is his run he did on the X-Men, which is gold. It is my favorite run of comics ever. It was done for 79 to 80, and it was with Chris Claremont, and they stopped doing it because they did not get along anymore. They were butting heads over how the direction of the comic book should go. More or less the attitudes of the characters, how they would react to things. So this series here is really cool. It's like Hidden Years, so it goes back to his most triumphant time in Marvel and goes in between the seams. Angel Ascendant, look at that. What a great cover. What a great cover. John Byrne is one of those guys that just makes me want to draw. Him and Jack Kirby, I'd say, are my favorite two artists, with Todd McFarlane thrown in there. But Todd McFarlane is more my favorite business type comic book guy. You know, the Todd father, right? He's a super talented genius when it comes to comics. Sheer drawing skill and ability and all that, I would go to Jack Kirby, John Byrne, and then McFarlane. Great company to be in. Great company to be in. Okay, so we've gone through all those. Now, going back to Machete Comics, we're going to wrap up here with Machete Comics. Here's issue 2, still available. You can go to our store and buy this. Okay. Yeah. This is a full length. This is our first full length. The first one wasn't full length. This one is full length. Nothing on the back still. Look at that. I can sign it for you. I wish there was Comic Cons and I could meet all these people that I am chumming up with on TikTok. I hope some of my TikTok friends are watching. And where else were we in? What was that other one that I never go on that we were getting some viewers on there too, though? A lot of people play video games on there. Twitch? Yep. Thanks to Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, cheers to you as well. If you're watching on Facebook, cheers to you. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Twitter, cheers to you as well. Okay. So here's the comic book. We have a store. It's on Etsy. Follow us on Kids in the Escalator. That's great. Yeah. So we have a Machete Comics store, and you can buy all stuff like this, and you can also buy posters. Really cool stuff. We're gonna have a huge sale coming up, aren't we? Mm-hmm. We got a sale coming up, and you're gonna be able to get some stuff for a great bargain. Now, we have enough comics out with a couple golden tickets in there. Nobody's claimed them yet. What is going on?
I don't know. Open
your comic books, my friends. Look inside. There's no time limit on this, but, you know. Come on. Somebody must have gotten a golden ticket.
40 years from now and be like, I want to redeem this.
I know, and I'll have nothing because I'll be dead. I need to put something on the bottom of my mug. So, Machete Comics. Now, here's what we got coming up in the next few issues, which is really, really cool, and I enjoy. We're going to get some backstory going on. In this one, we got a little backstory of the military. In the next issue coming up, our police officer, Eldridge Coolidge there. Right there. We're going to do a little backstory on him as a backup story in issue number 3, which is a really good one. They're getting better, folks. They are getting better as we go along. We're really starting to hit our stride here. With issue 3, I think we really hit our stride. Issue 1 and 2, the first 2, is your basic origin issue. 1 and 2 will kind of give you up to speed, bring you up to speed on what's going on in this world, who the heroes are, who the villain is, and how the world's receiving what has happened. Okay, so after that is when 3 is when we really start to break off into more just free-falling stories, which is great. Origin issues are hard to write, you know, because you want it to be catchy, but you still want to hit all the perfect and important things that you know that the readers need to keep going. So writing a comic book is a tricky thing, like writing any kind of story, you know. So we've got lots of cool stuff going on there, and the Kids on the Escalator show is coming back on first week of September. I think Brent's going to go on from the road there, and I will be here, and we're going to talk about some really rad stuff again. We're going to have some special guests on there, and I will keep doing this next week. Next Sunday, you know, it was funny because last night I was planning all these DC ideas. I was going to talk about DC stuff. So next week, we are going to talk about DC. I'm going to dedicate the whole episode to DC, the DC universe. Okay? All right. So we just did 40 minutes today, which is good. We did 45. 45 minutes. Oh, yeah. Everybody, you're not playing this time. Everybody can see it. Right? You got to start it over again.
Happy birthday!
My birthday's on Wednesday. Yay, my birthday.
Woo! I hope you're hungry.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, show it proper one more time. That's fine.
One more time.
Happy birthday! Woo! I hope you're hungry.
My eyes. That's hilarious. If it had been brown eyes, I would be funny about it. That was so cool. Thanks, Lonnie. Thanks, Lonnie. All right. Cheers to everybody that's watching and has watched. We're going to do a little ad for our Blue microphone because we're sponsored by Blue Microphone. They give us microphones and we thank them for it. Thank you, Blue. Here we go. Okay.
Why, goddammit, you're wasting my time!
So my wife is obsessed with Face Swap. Okay, that was me on Hunter. Yeah, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Johnny Depp, but Hunting. What was his name?
Oh, I
Can't remember his name, but I should go watch that movie while I'm doing some work. So, all right, folks, thanks for tuning in and watching. If you're watching live, that's amazing. Thank you. Cheers. Hope you have a great Sunday. If you're rewatching or restreaming or whatever that is, Studio 73 Friday Night Live is a cool thing to check out. Cheers, everyone. Buy some comic books. Watch some movies. Enjoy some TV. Relax. Peace and love, my friends. We're out.